right, welcome to halftime, everybody. Chris Williams here, joined by the quarterback, Bret Meyer, and we'll break down Iowa State and Kansas. Where game where actually you feel pretty fortunate to only be down 6 if you're Iowa State. Want to thank our sponsors, Carl Chevrolet, Carl Auto Group, and our friends at Des Moines and Ames Eye Care for the whole family. Bret, I was you're going to have to kind of talk me off the ledge a little bit. Like, I just don't feel like Iowa State has any business being in this game right now, but they are. And I guess that means something. So I'll take it, I guess. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of an ugly first half. And, that Kansas is playing with all the energy, all the emotion. And you can tell the type of players they've recruited. These kids are competing and they're excited, and we just have to get there. And, that touchdown drive towards the end of the second quarter was huge. We had to have that, and I think those big plays are going to be there. I think we just got to play to the strengths of our offense, and let Jalen and Xavier and those guys and Sean Shaw and whoever else, because we're slim in the backfield and we're not getting any push up front. So Hunter's going to have to step up and play better in the second half.
Yeah, it's pretty concerning with Jairell Brock being out. He goes out after one play. You're already without Cartavius Norton, who for some reason didn't make the trip. I'm assuming that's because of his injury. I don't know that for a fact. I'm guessing that we'll find out after the game. I'm thinking ahead to next week, where you're certainly going to have to run the football against a team like Kansas State, but got a football game to take care of today. I mean, what do you do here, Bret? Because it seems to me like you're not going to be able to run the football, take the sacks away, and you're still averaging like 1.5 yards per rush. I mean, is it as simple as you drop back and just chuck it downfield this whole second half?
I don't think so. I mean, you still got to stay balanced a little bit.
Because I'm firing up my PlayStation and I'm ready to go.
I know. I think, we got to come out and just stay connected to the game. For me, that's one score. This first possession out of halftime is going to be big. And, they've scored, 28, 29 touchdowns on the season. I think that's up there, top 5 in the country. So, they know how to draw. They're going to have probably a good scripted drive here and for the first drive of the second half. And, hopefully, we can make our defensive adjustments. They've had that speed option. They're probably going to have something off of that here in the second half. And we just got to make sure that we can get a stop and no points. And then, I'm okay just opening it up because, we're into the backups in the backfield. And like I said earlier, and getting no push, we're going to have to spread it out and find ways to get Xavier some space because they're double teaming him, and hopefully some other guys can step up.
I don't know. They made some changes. They moved the right tackle and the right guard about the third series. We'll see. Right tackle was really a problem early on when they were putting pressure on Deckers. Made an adjustment, put the Hawkeye 10 kid McLaughlin, the linebacker, in on that last series for Colby Reeder. So they're moving some guys around. We've heard about depth with this team and how they have a lot of guys that they think they're confident in. Let me talk to you about Deckers. You're the quarterback. It just seems to me we're watching a young man with a ton of God-given talent. You can see it in his arm. He's got the moxie. He's got all that. We're seeing some growing pains, though, right, with the pocket presence and stuff like that. I mean, how much of that is on him? How much of it's on the line? What do you think as far as Hunter and that pocket awareness? And then he threw another bad INT, but it looked like that could have been on the receiver too. I don't really know without knowing what that play exactly was.
Yeah, they're in cover 2. You just can't throw it in the flat. And unless you have a high-low, there's nobody underneath, and you just try to throw it. And whether it's a miscommunication or not, you just got to know what defense they're in and kind of where you can't throw it. For him, it just looks like he's at times there's openings for him to get out and run a little bit and scramble and make plays, which I think he can do naturally, but he's just not. It seems like he just kind of in the fetal position and take a sack, which, is better than a turnover. But at the same time, you have the ability to make plays with your feet and on the run, just do it. So hopefully with experience, it slows down a little bit and you're able to do that more freely and just kind of play instead of think so much. And, there was a play on second down where they're running crossing routes and Xavier's on it wide open and he kind of throws it to the running back and it's tipped. And that was a big miss. And we ended up punting that drive. So I think you just what you see, you just got to be able to execute what you see and not think so much, because it seems to me like he's, it's tough when you play, because week to week now, you don't have an entire offseason. It's week to week, and you're changing game plans every week, or you're seeing different defenses every week, and that's a challenge in and of itself for a first year starter.
The defensively, Iowa State kind of clamped down there towards the end of the half a little bit, which was good to see. You've kept Jalen Daniels at 50% completion percentage. Hasn't really done too much on the ground. He did have a rushing touchdown. This little option look Kansas is showing us. What do you – I mean, I like it when a team gets somewhat one-dimensional against Iowa State. I'll usually take your chances, albeit Iowa State's just not getting pressure with 3 like they have in recent years, right? And I don't know. The defense feels different to me. The linebackers look slower, and you're not getting as much pressure with those 3 guys. How do you look at this matchup in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to almost be realistic with ourselves and realize what we lost last year, with Jake Hummel, Mike Rose, Hasheem Young. Like, we had a lot of high-end players that are not here anymore. And, we're not a program that's just going to be able to reload and have, the same quality of players backfill them. And, we got somebody like Will McDonald who's, had and Wazirike next to him last year. You don't have that this year, so he's able to be double teamed, and he's been taken out of games, and so there's some growing pains, and that's where our defensive staff is, they have to earn their check, and they are. I think they're getting everything they can out of this defense, but I think just a little more speed at linebacker is going to help, and to be able to cover, because this still is the Big 12, and Kansas they're spreading people out, and they got a great scheme on offense. I think we just got to be able to to shut down and figure out the speed option, because that's clearly something they saw on film they could take advantage of, and it's been a good play for them in the first half.
Yeah, it was, again, I thought that was really notable that they took out Reeder, the senior, for the true freshman, and it looked like
from Harlan, right? The McLaughlin kid?
Hawkeye 10 kid, it looked like they're just trying to get as much speed out there as humanly possible. I'm really glad that they went down and scored, because I was.
Yeah, we had to have that, and that stop at the end of the first half was big too. So this first possession is going to be huge, and we'll kind of see. Because I mean, this quarterback's good, but I don't think he's an elite passer. Like, a lot of his, he's not spinning super tight spirals, and not a ton of juice, but it's just their scheme is good, and guys are wide open, and he's decisive, and he makes the right plays, and so. I think that's just, for us, we just got to be able to get pressure on them, because we really haven't done that yet today.
Do you think that, because James just asked us here in the chat, I mean, usually we see John Haycock get more aggressive as the game goes on. Do you anticipate that bringing more?
I do, yeah. I mean, if you're not getting pressure with, your base looks, then you absolutely have to. They're getting a lot of chunk plays, and they've scored a lot of touchdowns and a lot of points on every team. One of the highest scoring teams in the country. So if you're not getting pressure and you need to, then you start to bring more bodies.
All right. So, I mean, basically we're just going to throw 50-yard bombs and go for 2 out of the field goal look.
I don't know if I've ever seen a failed extra point snap like that turn into actual points. That was great job by the holder, though. Whoever he is.
Take it. That's, you know who that is? Caitlin Clark, the basketball player for Iowa.
Yeah.
It's her little brother.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, there
Runs
you go.
in the family, man. Just clutch.
More you know.
Ballers throughout. That's awesome.
The more you know.
Good for him. No, that actually was a great play. Could be big here, as we progress. We'll see.
Yeah, look at Oklahoma State just crushing Baylor.
Yeah. They might be the class of the Big 12 by a long shot. Because Oklahoma clearly is a mess right now.
Oklahoma,
Kansas State. I mean,
man, it looks like a Lincoln Riley defense out there. I mean, TCU almost had 500 yards of offense in the first half in that game.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, that's another thing, like almost like our defense. Like, we lost a lot. Oklahoma lost a lot. Like, one of the best play callers in the country, your quarterback, and all. Like, it's going to take some time. You still got a first-time head coach. I don't care how experienced he is. Like, he's a first-time head coach doing this all for the first time. So it's going to take some time, and hopefully they don't figure it out, because they probably have the best roster still, but
that's shocking to me. The Oklahoma State score, I thought, not that Oklahoma State could potentially win the game. I just that Baylor's down by 20.
Oklahoma State. I mean, they're they might be the class of the conference. We'll see.
It looks a lot like the old Gundy teams now, like that they're going to put up 40, 50, and they may give up a few more points, but they I don't know. They're Spencer Sanders, though, as you well know, being a fifth-year quarterback, I mean, he basically knows that offense like anything. Like the more you do something, he's been there forever. I think that's it. Let's get out of here. Go get yourself a beverage, everybody. Thanks to our sponsors, Carl Chevrolet, Des Moines, and Ames Eye Care. Brett, appreciate you, my man. Thank you. Maddie Van Winkle producing the show. Iowa State 14-8, trailing the mighty Jayhawks from Kansas. All right. Have a fun second half, everybody. I'll be here after the game.